Hello, everybody. Oh, okay. 1 second. Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy Thursday. Okay, now I'm ready. Happy Thursday. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to Once Upon a Turkey Leg. You need to do this. There we go. Welcome. Hope your week is going well. Hope your Thursday went well. Mine went pretty well. Okay, 1 second. I'm positioning my... There we go. That's how I do it. So anyway, I worked today. Another day in the drive-thru. And, it was nothing really spectacular happened. It was just all the same, serving people, stuff. And then came home. It rained. Florida's still getting their afternoon rains. Hopefully soon it'll both dry out a little bit and cool down. But I think that's going to be until sometime in October before we begin to see any significant change. So we got 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks maybe until that happens. So anyway, I was I'll mention this again at the end, but in case you are watching a replay and you don't make it to the end, I am planning to go. I have plans to go to Disney next week, going to the Magic Kingdom on Tuesday, and there may be a pop-up live stream sometime in the afternoon, possibly, maybe, or I might just be recording stuff to put up on the channel later. But then I'll be leaving in time to come back home in time for the Big Gobble on Tuesday night at 9. So yeah, looking forward to that little trip. It's been a few weeks since I was down at Disney, so I will be doing that. Hey Tina, welcome in, and hello Chuck. And hope your Thursday is going well. I had a turkey leg. Actually, I cooked 2 turkey legs and 2 no, actually there were 3 turkey legs. Bought a package of turkey legs at the store and a package of turkey wings because they only had 1 package of turkey legs. Oh, hey Garrett, welcome in. Monarch Moments, welcome in. So I bought the package of turkey legs, and I found out when I opened it, it wasn't 2 decent sized legs. It was actually 3 smaller turkey legs. So anyway, I cooked those, and I cooked the wings. I cooked them in water in the slow cooker, and they're like the crock pot. And so I've got a nice batch of turkey broth to warm up and enjoy over the next few days. So anyway, today I had one of the legs and one of the wings. So tomorrow I will be finishing the turkey that I have cooked. So anyway, that was very delicious. So yeah. So anyway, I think it's time to get into the stories. So last week I read the story of Pinocchio in honor of the new live action Pinocchio that came out last week. Actually, last Thursday it came out, so it's officially been out for 1 week. And I read the story of Pinocchio last Thursday, and last week I was trying to get over and recover from a excuse me, a bad cough. I just had something in my throat right there, but I'm technically over it, the cough, what I had, except for moments I choke on my breath. But so I say that to recap that I only read one story last week, but I had a second Pinocchio story that I wanted to read. So this week I'm going to read that story, and then we're going to do another story that I don't believe I've read. Anyway, if I have read it, it's been a while, so I will share with you what that is and when I'm done with this story. So let's go on with this Pinocchio story. Let me adjust my microphone so that you can hear my beautiful voice and also see the pictures. All right, so I'm going to be reading tonight Pinocchio, a Real Boy. And I'm not sure. They don't really tell you who's the actual author in this book. So I'm sure it was written by a nice person and illustrated by another nice person. So anyway, oh hey Mandy, welcome in. Just getting started on story number 1, Pinocchio in a Real Boy. Here is the first picture. The sun was just beginning to rise over Pinocchio's little village. The moment he awoke, Pinocchio leapt out of bed and ran to look at himself in the mirror. He laughed with joy when he saw his reflection. It hadn't been a dream. The blue fairy had made him a real boy. He smelled a wonderful scent coming from the kitchen. As he sniffed the air, Pinocchio felt a strange sensation. His mouth began to water. Is this what being hungry feels like? He wondered. Pinocchio put on his clothes and ran to the kitchen. There he saw his father, Geppetto, cooking a huge breakfast. There were eggs and pancakes and bacon and sausage and oatmeal and orange juice and toast and milk and muffins, and Pinocchio stopped trying to name everything on the table. Also, please invite me. I know, right? And I think it's just the two of them still. and the cat, and then the fish. I don't know how much they eat, but anyway. Geppetto grinned when he saw Pinocchio. I wanted to cook you something special for your first breakfast. I couldn't decide what to make, he said. So I made everything. Pinocchio's stomach rumbled as he looked at all the food. Well, come on, Geppetto said. Dig in. Pinocchio sat down and tried a bite of eggs. It's chewy, he said, his mouth full, and soft, and delicious. Pinocchio tried a little bit of all the food Geppetto had made. Every bite tasted different from the last. Oops, this picture. And hello, Brian and Nick. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. This is wonderful, Pinocchio said. Can we eat all day long? Oh, no, Geppetto laughed. We'll be much too busy for that. I have so much to show you. Can we take the food with us? Pinocchio asked. That's an excellent idea, Geppetto said. We'll have a picnic. Geppetto packed a lunch, and he and Pinocchio left to explore the village. The first thing Pinocchio noticed was how brightly the sun shone. He blinked as he left the dark cottage and walked into the sunshine. Its dazzling beams felt warm against his skin. Pinocchio and Geppetto made a game of running in and out of the shadows all the way to the edge of town. When Pinocchio jumped through the last shadow, he felt a strange sensation in his stomach. It was different from hunger. It was Pinocchio's tummy flip-flopped and a strange sound came from his throat. Hi, Jonathan. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. What is going on? Pinocchio asked. He was starting to get scared. Don't worry, Geppetto said. It's just the hiccups. Hiccups? Pinocchio asked. Will they ever stop? Geppetto showed Pinocchio how to hold his breath until the hiccups went away. Pinocchio wasn't sure he liked this new experience. He had been so busy thinking about how much fun being a real boy was, he hadn't stopped to think about all the things that could go wrong. Okay, but Geppetto, please show him how to start breathing again. Excuse me. Pinocchio grew silent as he followed Geppetto. At first, the sun's warmth had felt nice, but now Pinocchio was hot and sweaty. His feet hurt, and his stomach felt as empty as it had that morning before breakfast. Pinocchio finally asked the question he was most concerned about. Are we there yet? Geppetto took Pinocchio's hand. It's just over this hill. The pair climbed higher until they saw a beautiful valley below them. Race you to the swimming hole? Geppetto asked. Pinocchio nodded and ran off before Geppetto could get ready. Father and son ran down the hill and collapsed in a happy pile next to the lake's edge. Time for food, Pinocchio cheered. Geppetto laughed and began unpacking the picnic basket. Geppetto and Pinocchio spent the rest of the day at the swimming hole, playing in the water and fishing in the bank. As they played, Geppetto told Pinocchio stories of the many times he had visited the lake as a young boy. Pinocchio felt much better now that he had eaten and rested. The cool water was refreshing after their long walk from the village. Even when Pinocchio scraped his knee on one of the willow trees, he didn't get upset. He was starting to realize what an exciting place the world was. As the sun began to set, Pinocchio noticed a new feeling. His eyelids felt heavy, as though he could barely keep his eyes open. Then he yawned. I'm tired, Pinocchio said, surprised at the realization. You've had quite a big day, Geppetto said. Are you ready to go home? Pinocchio nodded, and Geppetto lifted him onto his shoulders. He carried Pinocchio toward their little house in the village. Sitting on Geppetto's back, Pinocchio looked up into the night sky. Far above them shone the wishing star, twinkling brightly. Pinocchio realized that being a real boy was more complicated than he had imagined. Today was fun, Father, Pinocchio said, but it was hard too. Geppetto nodded, thinking about what Pinocchio had said. That's what being alive is. It's sunlight and bacon and hiccups and scraped knees. Some of it will be scary, but I promise I'll be right there with you. Geppetto waited for Pinocchio to answer, but all he heard was the sound of soft snoring. Pinocchio was fast asleep. Geppetto laughed. Enough speeches. It's time to get you to bed. Geppetto carried Pinocchio as gently as he could to bed. He fluffed his pillow, then drew the blankets close under Pinocchio's chin. Good night, my boy, Geppetto said, leaning in to kiss Pinocchio on the forehead. Today was a dream come true. I cannot wait to share another adventure with you tomorrow. And that is the end of Pinocchio's a real boy. Well, that was a nice story. Hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, Figaro is adorable. Figaro, um, one of the cutest cats in Disney. Not that all the other cats aren't adorable, but anyway, let me get out the second story tonight. So I kind of realized, to my recollection, I have never read The Princess and the Frog on this show before. I read all kinds of other stories. Oh, hi, Kathy. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. And welcome in, everyone. I think I caught everyone that popped in. I see Jonathan popped in. Brian popped in. Movie Mania Nick popped in. Yeah, Garrett, I said hi. Tina's here and Chuck is here. And I'm here. Oh, that's all you need. Okay. No, everyone's welcome. Anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, I realized, just kind of thinking about, Princess and the Frog going into Disney World and Disneyland with the retheming of Splash Mountain, and how everyone kind of wants a, kind of, at least the way I feel about it is, not to get into it too much, but basically, we're fine with seeing a little more Tiana in the park, just generally, but that particular that ride retheme is, not the, optimal choice for that. So, thinking about giving Tiana a little love, I decided that I will read The Princess and the Frog. So, here we go with Princess and the Frog. Ever since she was a little girl, Tiana loved to cook. Tiana and her friend Charlotte would talk about their wishes for the future. Tiana's mother was Charlotte's seamstress. While she sewed beautiful dresses for Charlotte, she read stories to the girls too. One was about a prince who had been turned into a frog. There is no way in this whole wide world I would ever, never kiss a frog, Tiana declared. Charlotte said she would. Charlotte desperately wanted to marry a prince and become a princess and live happily ever after. But what Tiana wished for on the evening star was to open a restaurant with her father. He told her she must work hard to make her wish come true. Never lose sight of what's really important, he said. When Tiana got older, she remembered what her father had told her. She worked hard at both of her waitress jobs so she could make money and open that restaurant in an old sugar mill in town. Her father had passed away, but Tiana was determined to see their wish through. One day, Charlotte shared some exciting news. "Oh, Tia," she cried, "did you hear? Prince Naveen of Maldonia is coming to New Orleans, and Big Daddy invited him to our masquerade ball tonight." Big Daddy was Charlotte's father. He was also the king of Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Charlotte asked Tiana to make 500 of her famous beignets for the ball. Tiana agreed, and Charlotte paid her. Tiana couldn't believe it. She finally had enough money to buy the old sugar mill. She met with the Fenner brothers, and they agreed. She met with the Fenner brothers, and they agreed to start the paperwork. There's Big Daddy. Meanwhile, Prince Naveen had arrived. He listened to some jazz music and danced. His valet, Lawrence, tried to tell him that they were going to be late for the ball. "At this point, you have two choices: woo and marry a rich young lady, or get a job," said Lawrence. Naveen was a prince, but his parents refused to give him any more money. He had come to New Orleans hoping to solve his problems. Just then, the evil Dr. Vasilier stepped out of the shadows and said, "I'd wager I'm in the company of visiting royalty." Prince Naveen was flattered. He and Lawrence followed Dr. Facilier into his lair. Dr. Facilier told the two men that he could give them what their hearts desired. Persuaded, Naveen and Lawrence shook Dr. Facilier's hand. As evil voodoo spirits swirled around the room, Dr. Facilier pricked Naveen's finger and conjured a magic necklace. The deal had been sealed. One second, guys. I got it. Here we go. Okay. At the masquerade ball that night, Charlotte couldn't wait to meet Prince Naveen. Little did she know that the prince who arrived was no prince at all. It was Lawrence, disguised as Naveen. The magic necklace had transformed him. All along, Lawrence had wanted to become prince. Tiana was handing out beignets when the Fenner brothers told her that they had sold the sugar mill to someone else for more money. Tiana was heartbroken. Just then, all her beignets fell onto her. Charlotte sent Tiana upstairs to get cleaned up. Alone, Tiana went out to the balcony and looked up at the evening star. Just then, a frog looked over the ledge. "I suppose you want a kiss," she said jokingly. When the frog spoke back and puckered its lips, Tiana screamed. Here she is looking at the star. And then here she is with the frog and with the puckered lips. After Tiana calmed down, the frog explained to her that he was really Prince Naveen. He insisted that if Tiana kissed him, he would transform back into a prince. He promised her a reward. Tiana thought of her restaurant and knew what she wanted and knew what she had to do. But the kiss didn't turn Naveen back into a prince. It turned Tiana into a frog. Tiana screamed again, and both frogs fell out the window and onto the dance floor. As people at the ball tried to catch them, Naveen and Tiana grabbed some balloon strings and floated into the sky, safe from the humans. When Dr. Facilier learned that Naveen had escaped, he was very angry. They needed to keep Naveen trapped so that Lawrence could remain disguised as the prince and marry Charlotte. Then Dr. Facilier would get rid of Charlotte's father and take over New Orleans. They had to find Naveen as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Naveen and Tiana had been carried by the balloons to a swamp. Soon a bunch of alligators swam up and tried to eat them. Tiana and Naveen scurried into a tree, and they slept there that night. The next morning, Tiana and Naveen were greeted by another alligator, but this one was friendly. His name was Louis. Tiana explained their situation, and Louis suggested they find Mama Odie. She's got magic, he told the frogs. Tiana and Naveen were so excited. They were going to become human again. As they swam along, night began to fall. Just then, a lightning bug named Ray showed up. He informed them that they were going the wrong way. He offered to take them to Mama Odie's. They stopped to rest for a bit, and Tiana showed Naveen how to mince mushrooms for some swamp gumbo. When you live in a castle, everything is done for you, Naveen admitted. He tried some of Tiana's gumbo. It was delicious. You truly have a gift, he told her. Then they danced. Hi, Amy. Welcome in. Have a good night, Nick. Oh, there's this picture on this page. Finally, the group arrived at Mama Odie's. Tiana and Naveen told her what they wanted. You want to be human, but you're blind to what you need, Mama Odie replied, but she agreed to help them. She stirred her pot of gumbo, and an image appeared inside. It was Charlotte and her father dressed as royalty. Big Daddy was the king of Mardi Gras, which made Charlotte a princess for the night of Mardi Gras. Naveen needed to be kissed by a true princess. Tiana and Naveen realized that if Naveen kissed Charlotte before midnight, they would both be human again. They had to get back to town. They hurried off and hitched a ride on a boat. By then, Naveen had realized something. He loved Tiana. He wanted to tell her, but he didn't know how. The two frogs sat on top of the boat. Tiana excitedly pointed out the sugar mill that she still hoped would be her restaurant. As long as Naveen kissed Charlotte, Tiana would get her reward. But Naveen didn't want to kiss Charlotte. Realizing that he couldn't help Tiana, he hopped away. Suddenly, evil spirits sent by Dr. Facilier snatched Naveen. But here are the frogs sitting on the boat. Hi, Dawn. Hitchhiking Bones. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. When the boat docked, Tiana couldn't find Naveen. Ray told her that the prince was in love with her. Tiana was so happy. She felt the same way. Just then, Tiana saw Charlotte in the Mardi Gras parade. Charlotte was with Naveen, and they were about to be married. Devastated, Tiana didn't realize that Lawrence was disguised as Naveen and that the real prince was still trapped. But Ray managed to free Naveen and grab the necklace that Lawrence was wearing. Then Tiana smashed it to pieces. As soon as she did, the evil spirits took Dr. Facilier away. Tiana and Naveen told Charlotte the whole story. Suddenly, the clock struck midnight. It was too late. They would remain frogs forever. Here's this picture. And then this picture. But that was okay with Tiana and Naveen. They had found true love, and they decided to get married at the swamp. Mama Odie declared them husband and wife. As the frogs kissed, magic swirled around them. When they opened their eyes, they were human again. Once Tiana became Naveen's wife, she was a princess, and the spell was broken. There's that picture before the end of the story. Later on, after much hard work, Tiana and Naveen opened the restaurant Tiana had always dreamed of. Finally, they both had everything they ever wanted, and the one thing they truly needed: love. And that is the end of The Princess and the Frog. Alrighty. Excuse me. 1 second. Okay. So thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed those stories. Really, really glad you popped in. Glad I read that. I watched that movie only once, and I think I need to watch it again. So there's that. So yeah, welcome in Dawn, Hitchhiking Bones. And I think I got everyone else in the chat. Alrighty then. Well, that is pretty much it for the stream. Quick announcement: next Thursday, I will be back for more stories. Got a couple options for pairs of stories in mind, but you'll have to come back to see. Next Tuesday will be the next episode, the next installment of my new show, the Big Gobble, on Tuesday at 9. But as I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I have a Disney day planned. So I'm heading down to Magic Kingdom in the morning, and I'll be leaving there in the early evening. That is a Halloween party day. So they are closing the park early for non-party guests. So that's perfect. So I will spend the day in Magic Kingdom, and I might go live. I might, in the mid to late afternoon. I'm thinking possibly a stream walking from the Magic Kingdom to the Grand Floridian, or I might go live in the park, maybe for the parade. So we'll see. We will see what we see. But definitely, if I don't go live, I'm definitely going to be getting some video clips from my visit that day, at least some shorts, maybe some other things. So anyway, yeah, but then I will be back definitely for the Big Gobble at 9:00 that night. So that's the plan. So I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you for coming in. If you have not already and you like the stream, bop the like button. If you're watching on the replay, just leave a little comment for me. Let me know that you were here. And what else? I don't remember. Anyway, if it's important, I'll tell you next week. And if it's really important, I don't know. Anyway, so have a great night, everybody. Thanks for coming in again. And remember to always follow the happy.